new and improved set, our set design. We're excited. Have wings for you today.
Full flap.
So to remind you that you are divine and you can fly. So we're happy to have you here. And Tavares, you going to talk to us about our topics and our announcements today?
Yeah, but before we do, look at this swag top that she's wearing. I almost didn't even want to put the mic on because I'm like, "Ah, I'm gonna mess up your aesthetics." And it's really cool knit, and yeah, you're doing it.
Well,
So
thank you, Tavares.
yeah, sometimes you got to let people know when they're looking good. Don't withhold. And this is one of the things we were talking about.
Right.
What are you withholding? Don't withhold your love and your commentary. So, anywho, today's topic, we're talking about a variety of different things, but looking at this idea of our relationship with AI and technology and what that does in terms of relinquishing our authority to these outside technological, artificial constructs, and how it creates even more and more of a separation between us and our own connection to the divine.
Yes.
And we're seeing a lot of different things that are happening, so we can explore that. And we just so happen to be in the crown chakra this month for
Yes.
Light Body.
Yes.
So it's real on all fronts. Any initial thoughts before we jump into announcements?
Um, I have a lot of thoughts, but I'd like to wait until the announcements to begin.
Okay, all right. So please hold all commentary until the end. So we are in the middle of Soul Translation class.
Yes.
It's Lauta of the Sun.
Yes. We have gone through the gifts portion of the class. It was a rousing success. People are moving into their gifts with greater expansion, and it expands all of us in the light body movement, all of us in Of the Sun, all of us on the earth plane, all of us as we access greater understanding of our gifts, greater understanding of accessing gifts becomes available.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Another perspective I'd like to add, being that I assisted with formatting the documents and curating, well, you identified all the students' gifts. And I had to look at everybody's multiple times and get all the information, but it was just fascinating to see just how many people just by default you're clairvoyant. You got clairvoyancy. You got clairvoyancy. You got clairvoyancy. You got clairsentience. You got clairsentience. Everybody gets clairs. And I was like, wow. And it made me think about how you said several times throughout me knowing you, look, everybody's wearing cellophane. Even people who you think aren't saying anything and they can't see, they're seeing, they're
I
watching
know.
and picking up what's in the air.
So funny. So often I'll have a first interview with someone and they'll say, we want to make sure you don't share anything we're saying. I'm like, there are no secrets.
So
Like, that's an illusion. Like, if you can know, you can know. If you can't know, then you can't know.
yeah,
But if you know how to know, okay, you know how to know.
that's right. It ain't hard to know. Like especially you start activating these gifts and
Once you start
back to that
activating
crown.
it, it's not hard to know, and it's okay. Live your life in the way where your nudity is beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting flip on that, and I can see the truth of it. And as we've been taught to be afraid of bearing it all. Exposing
The
just who we
language, yeah,
are.
listen to the language, yes.
Yeah, literally. And it's on so many levels
Yes,
of our consciousness. Fascinating.
yes, it's absolutely amazing. So I think that as the gifts open, so does all of humanity.
Yeah,
How wonderful to be alive at this time.
very much so. So next week you're going to take us through mental
I
causations.
am, yes. We're going to be going through what is the reason. So some of the easy ways to understand that would be, for instance, your knees hurt, and you don't you realize that they only hurt certain times when you are being challenged with being flexible. That would be a mental causation.
Mm-hmm.
And that everything is literal. And we talk about that in this class. Everything is literal. Everything you say is literal. I can't bend. Oh, you're inflexible. Oh, your knees, your joints don't work.
Yeah.
I can't bend to do that. I can't.
You, my friend, have rigid thinking.
Yeah, so we're going to be exploring that for 3 full hours and giving everyone the opportunity to not only see some of their own mental causations, but be able to identify family and friends as well.
Yeah, which I think is really cool on top of it because, again, you're able to take this information, apply it. Even if you are not actively operating as a practitioner, you'll see something and know what's going on. This is back to that bearing it all. The person who understands, like, ooh, your leg's hurting, huh? That might be unflexible. I'm not going to say nothing. They didn't ask me, but I see. I see.
Yeah, so this is the idea of soul translation is 22 different modalities that ascertain or open up the clarity of who a human is. Like, oh, I see that you are gifted in this way. I see that your mind works in this way. I see that you're connected to the archangel realm in this way. I see, all of these different things. I see where your body wants to be. I can see what your exit point is. I can see what would be the best food for you. All of that is within the soul translation um, vocabulary. And these are all things at an introductory level that can be ascertained. And just knowing that you can know opens you to more knowing.
Most certainly, most certainly. It's making me think about a phrase that you said in the past, the moment you know. It's the open sesame. And most people don't know that they can do a thing
Yeah.
until they are informed that they can.
And many people, we saw instances in our class this week, many people don't realize that who they are is a gift. They don't know that what they smell is information that gives them multidimensional range across all of the parallel realities in from the past life that is an open gift. They just think, I like to smell things.
So just thinking about the student who
Yeah.
prompted the question and, when you laid out exactly what that looks like in everyday life and how your sense of smell can not truly how they smell, but your perception of their smell gives you information about their frequency and everything. And the person goes, "That's me all day." And she was losing it. It was funny to see, but you could see the value like shoot up with through the awareness of making a connection of something that's been there
Yeah.
in the background, but just no real understanding.
And it's something that can be developed in those who don't have it, so that when you meet a person and they want to be your partner, and you can smell whether that's an appropriate thing or not.
Like, come here. I don't know.
It wasn't so much like that, but but yes, but no.
It's close. I know I'm being theatrical,
But
but
this is a gift that people don't think of as a divine gift
yeah,
that opens, that gives you multidimensional levels of clarity.
it's cool hearing you say people don't think of it as a divine gift, but like everything, every aspect of us is
Yeah.
divine. The hearing, the tasting, the smelling, and of course, engagement with artificiality, things that are levels and degrees away from divinity, stops us from seeing literally what's in front of us.
It's so true. I can remember when years ago, when I would go to McDonald's, I had stopped eating burgers, but I would get uh, the vegetables
Uh,
on,
what was it, a lettuce wrap, or you
yeah,
just be like,
I would get
just
I would just ask for the vegetables. And at that time, I was still eating bread. And
okay.
what happened was I could smell the chemicals on the lettuce. And so it is not a gift that I have, but I had the ability to notice what was not what was in my reality,
Yeah.
which was chemicals. And that shut it down for me. I smelled the chemicals one time, and that was it. I wouldn't eat it then. I haven't eaten it since, and that's been 15 years ago. So this idea of opening the gifts and having reverence and respect for them gives reverence and respect for who you are, the greater multidimensional self.
Yeah, straight
So
up.
everyone is encouraged to make sure that they love themselves for whatever aspect. Some of the things seem small because of the third dimensional mind, but they're not small, you know?
Yeah, it's major. So again, you are going to continue throughout the year teaching soul translation. So if
Yes.
you didn't get in this time, stay tuned. We're going to be updating the site with, I believe it's the first and second quarter of the year with classes that we have, both entry level and advanced classes such as soul translation. And
Yes.
again, this is 4 out of 20. I think it's actually 25 modalities because you
There,
added a couple
there's
actually throughout the
another
years,
even layer to
24.
it. We have a soul translation too, which is another 15 or 16 modalities, but these are, it's rich, and we'll see if there's call for it.
All right, pick up that line. Send an email. When's the next class dropping? Okay, so outside of this, a couple of other updates. In the Catch Studio 1, Diane Annis, Diane of the Sun, she's going to be doing her Evolutionary Book Club this Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It is The Mucusless Diet by
Yeah.
Arnold Ehret. And so the book is covering living a lifestyle of eating foods that produce less or no mucus, and also focuses on the idea of relieving constipation in the body because there's different forms, the clogged arteries, clogged sinuses, and congestion based upon the foods that we eat.
Yes.
And this is so in tandem with our lifestyle. Eat food that cleans you out, keep the channels open and flowing, choose life. And so 6 p.m. we're going to be there discussing the book.
Yes.
You have any thoughts on this?
Oh, it's a favorite book of mine. It's kind of archived in with Of the Sun. In my pursuit of learning to be a healer, it was one of the most notable things for me to understand how the body worked, which was different than regular modern medicine or even Eastern philosophies, Indian or Ayurvedic or uh, Far East, different
That's
modalities.
a great point.
Yeah, it really helped well round my understandings because I studied all of them, and many of the people, Dr. Sabi and many others of my time, I was looking and studying all of them. The mucusless diet helped me understand the nuance of how the technology actually works, and how you can, just like you could put sugar in your gas tank, and it wouldn't go well for you. Like your car might run a little bit, but it might not. So it was that level of understanding the mechanics of how the technology actually works. So I highly recommend it as research for those who are interested in knowing how your own technology works, even though the book is 100 years old.
It's on point.
It really is.
I think some of the better content associated with biology, spirituality,
Yes.
were older books. I feel like a lot of what we're doing are rehash, not us necessarily, but what's available to the general public are rehashes of things from that time.
It's more than just you think that. That is like truly much of what is in the ancient indigenous knowings and in things from a couple of 100 years ago is what we're seeing with a new label.
Yeah, right.
It is not as if the new people invented it, they discovered it. And it's kind of like Christopher Columbus discovering America. They didn't actually discover it.
Yeah. That language is so
Yeah,
deceptive because
yeah.
it's like, how do you discover something that was already there?
And working.
Yeah. You just were ignorant. I became aware of what
Aha!
has always been there.
So they
Ah.
became aware of the intelligence that already existed in humanity. And then they brought it forward in the current time and made it popular. So,
I think
yes.
Discovery needs a rebranding. I'm just saying. So the link is on the website. Someone's commenting, who is this? Tay X Chung saying, where's the information for the book club? Couldn't find it on the website. Homepage, what's that? Oh, Diane says she just put it out there because she happens to be following the chat. Thank you, Diane. And so again, just a general reminder, it's on the home page. Scroll down a little bit. You'll see the classes and workshops, Evolutionary Book Club. You can sign up. It's free to the E.
Which
We're going to have a great
website?
time. Othesun.com.
Aha.
Come on now. She's like, come on, say it. Say it one more time. Say it for the people now. Othesun.com. All caps. So I want to take a moment just to acknowledge the people in the comments, people who are making themselves known, that they're here, they're joining us in our well, this isn't necessarily the Call for the Truth podcast. This is a live stream, but
But we
we're
are
going to bring the
always calling
truth.
for the truth.
That's right. We're going to speak about the truth regarding what we're seeing happening within proximity and globally with our relationship with AI and technology
Yes.
and the connection with the crown. So with that being said, we got TX Chung in the house. We have Romansky Productions in the house. I am Elijah Woods. I got to read this. Peace, love, light, happiness, wealth, abundance. Y'all, your lights are gleaming beautifully. Elijah, honor, respect, and gratitude. We appreciate
And
you.
flapping our wings for you. Got our
Flap,
wings going.
flap. And then we have Cecilia in the house. In the Catch Veritas, I just want to give a shout out to Cecilia. She has assisted with producing these wings and painting them. So thank you so much for being of service
Yes,
and bringing
Cecilia,
forth this.
handmade, hand painted, new set designed for us. So we're very thankful. Thank
Yeah,
you, Cecilia.
that's right. And we got Stacy in the house, in Lakesh Veritas. Diva 831 says, loving the sweater and the wings. Stephanie Singletary in the house. In Lakesh, welcome everyone. All right, so let's dive into this topic. So we have been seeing some very interesting things taking place with human interaction, with artificial technology, as well as the algorithms, tablets, phones, and what it is doing to our brain. And our conclusion is that the interfacing with the technology is hijacking our crown, hijacking our capacity to not only think cognitively and critically in and of ourselves, but also robs us of the direct connection to the true World Wide Web, the real, what the
Yes.
Google was made off of, right? You know,
Right.
our connection to the divine. So, would you take us to the beginning with this?
So I think the number one thing for us to realize, and that has been hijacked from us, is that if we do not choose as a priority to seek the truth, illusion in its many varied ways and billions of bits of information that interact with us will steal the truth from us. Our silence is consent. Our silently watching porn, are silently smoking, things that are not in our best interest, are silently eating things with artificial colors. And now there's animal parts listed now on bags of processed food. All of these things, when we
Interesting.
silently, yeah, it's very interesting. All of these things, when we agree by not saying yes or no. We have already said yes because we purchased it. We've already said yes because we ate it. We already said yes because we gave it to our bodies without checking. But we have not explored our, like, no, I'll pass on that. So the social media, the environment of the language, how we use language, what we're willing to say, what we're willing not to say, how easy it becomes for us to always be in the lower aspect of language instead of in the more exalted aspect of language. What you mentioned earlier, the ability to move out of ego and be willing to honor someone else and give reverence to nature or food or any other aspect of creation that deserves the same acknowledgement that you do. And being able to do that, our social platforms and our artificial interaction doesn't really lend itself to being aware or generous with other things of creation. Creation is made to take a back seat to the shiny new iPhone, you know, which we all know is a trick. It's like insurance. We all know insurance is a trick.
Living in the land,
Yeah, but
land of
we
scammers.
like to think that. But what if something happened? Don't bet on it every month happening, but don't put $45 on it. I bet this is going to happen to me every month. Then maybe you won't have as many catastrophes. There's if the system, if we did not feed the system, a new system would evolve. So it's that same idea. I saw recently someone saying something about there are no people landing the flights safely, but people are not stopping going anywhere. And so the airline is still selling us tickets because we're still requiring them to, and they don't mind if we line up outside the building three times. They don't mind if we stay in TSA. They don't mind if we have to cancel. They have to cancel the flights, and you're stuck and don't have enough money for a hotel. It's okay.
Yeah, which all the laws that were in place, which allow for them to compensate people for cancellations, are no longer available.
Yeah, and so what is it that then we are in the allowing aspect? Our silence is the consent, or our paying for the ticket, or our deciding that, well, I hear that somebody's having a birthday, I'll just fly there like we would have 2 months ago. And it's a different situation. And are we not clear that planes can bump into each other? So it's everything. It's everything in our experience that's made us think that flying makes us more cosmopolitan. It makes us more attractive. It makes us more affluent. So let's risk our life to do that. That would be a good thing to do. So it touches us in every possible way. So,
I feel like kind of taking us in a different direction here with.
we can come back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like,
I'm
if
just
you
everything tangential to
want to
it.
go down that part of the
No, I
forest,
mean, it's really the way that my brain works is the way everyone's brain works. You say something, and then the things that are
start
tangential
saying.
to it
All
come
right.
forward.
All right, so I tied a tether for us to follow back to the
Okay.
road. I will say this though, I still see the connectivity. With the blind faith in something outside of us that's artificial, like the systems and the constructs that we live in, and so there's just this absent level of mind as it relates to the circumstance we find ourselves in.
Yeah, we're
Even the people in
cultivated against
TSA.
nature, not,
Yeah.
the airplanes are not nature, the social media is not nature, the lifestyle we think we're supposed to, that's not nature.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm not reeling it in, but we're going to walk and follow the rope back,
Yes, I will follow you.
put some Call for the Truth Divination cards down on the path, follow the cards back. So, again, we're talking about disconnection from our divinity through by way of artificial means. Something that I've seen, let's talk about language a little bit because you did touch on this and how the language is being informed from artificial constructs
Yes.
and something that I've seen with on social media, and you all let me know if you notice this. Because I interface with AI, I see the rhythm of the language models, and it seems like everyone's reading a script.
Yes.
I now, not only are they reading the script, because I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with reading a script. Sometimes it helps for people to get your information out. Heck, I like having bullet points too, but it's different when you got, all right, AI, write me this 5-minute video script, make it spicy, controversial, or urgent, or whatever it is. And then you continue to live months and months and months of being hyper reliant upon the artificiality. I see we're being led down a path where it seems attractive. It's a shiny thing, but I also see we're sacrificing something in exchange. We're giving something up that's inherent within us for the shiny thing. How's that landing, and what are your thoughts on that?
And I think we may have talked about this before. As technology comes in, when people went from having a recorder where they could play a record and they had to wind it to where it didn't need to be wound, to listening to radios, and to then having a television, and then all of the things that have happened each time, the opportunity for gain is there. At the same time, there's an opportunity to go too deeply into the tech.
So I got a question for you because
Yeah.
all of this throughout history, well, specifically the age of the industrial age is really where we saw in the Western world a lot of this making things convenient for the consumer. And so I see or my question for you is, where's the threshold between conveniency and losing oneself to the thing? Because this is what I see is the gamble. I'm not saying we should not engage with things, but I see that it looks like there are no guardrails when it comes to the conveniency.
I think the language you're using is so clear.
I'm in my crown, that's why. Crown chakra got me fired up.
And the language is so good because, of course, we're supposed to have technology. Of course, we're to evolve. Of course, we're to do, but we're not to release things we haven't tested. What we were just looking at a story of human robots that are being released.
Excuse me.
Human type, humanoid-looking robots, head, arms, legs that look like humans that are being released, and they are $20,000.
Or you could be on a subscription for $500 a month.
To buy one or pay $500 a month, and they will do household tasks.
Not very well.
Not really well, but it turns out that there's somebody in India remotely guiding them, that they're not actually working, but they're being sold as robots. So that makes me think the robot girlfriend that you think you got, maybe you actually got a girl in India or somewhere, and who's in your drawers and looking through your stuff, and not it's so this idea of technology and having help and being assisted, all of this is appropriate. All of it is appropriate, but it's not appropriate for you to be releasing it when it don't work.
Look, I can only say to the people, look up the video of Neo, the humanoid robot, and tell me, is it easier to just wash the dishes yourself or have this robot do it?
It took it, 8 minutes to close the dishwasher?
Five
minutes to close the dishwasher door.
After putting in 3 items. And it's, but the wild part about this is that the company says it requires, like all of these LLM systems, it requires your data. It requires training and being in the environment to learn, so it can get to a point to begin to do basic fundamental tasks. And that's a whole nother story because the trade-off
well, actually, that's relevant, but isn't it the people who are making the $20,000 on each item or collecting the $5,000 a month, isn't it not on them to provide the data that needs to be trained before they release something that, like medical vaccines or subscriptions or prescriptions or any of these things that we're being asked to pay for, in the hopes that it will eventually grow into the thing that we were sold on?
So I feel like any form of commerce requires you to have a complete product and then sell it, not like, hey, I'm going to sell you this thing and then give us some time.
So you have just gone too far. You want it.
Yes, I do, because they're doing this everywhere. It's not just
the cars that drive themselves to have already been taught how to drive you somewhere.
First off, let me make it clear. I do not want any cars driving me anywhere. Look, I was even opposed to the reversing camera. My truck don't have that. I'm like, nah, good old days, it's okay. My neck still works. I'm okay. But, and to each his own, right? But yes, apparently I am asking for too much. If I was to want that, yes, I would want it before they give it to me, because what are we doing here?
So everything is for us, and the technology is for us, and we are to grow beyond having to do the things that have, when we think of the indigenous, they spend all of their time having to be at the river, hitting a rock on their clothes to get the clothes washed. Then they spent the rest of their time walking miles to get water, and
inconvenient,
and having to have
relatively
oil to go get oil so they could have a cook fire. Yes, we are to evolve, and all these things that we can perceive and conceive of should be done. But we need to be a little bit more precise. We need to actually have the thing, not the idea of the thing.
Yeah,
and so the technology, I am very much for technology. I want technology that doesn't make me work more or cost me too much, and that actually is beneficial to humanity and will not damage my brain.
I agree.
All of those things.
I agree. So again, speaking about brain, the crown, our mind, and what's happening with the exchange of what we think we're getting
Yes.
versus what we're really choosing or
It's the
giving
illusion.
agreement to.
We're paying for the
We
illusion in
are.
every way. Whether you're looking at pornography, you're paying for the illusion. If you're looking at social media reality shows, you're paying for the illusion. If you're trying to get new tech that doesn't operate the way it's supposed to, if you think you're going to go in a store and the store is just going to figure out how much need to, you need to pay the store for what you walk out with, it's still in levels of illusion. That has not been proven, nor have they been proven honest enough to do so. So this is dishonesty. We're selling the idea of something that doesn't work. So here's the lie. This is not seeking out the truth. This is not requiring the truth of everything that you work with. Like, do you want your clothes to all be plastic? Or do you want the truth of what is natural cotton, linen, silk, and all the variations in between, rayon, all these other things that are made from natural products? Or do you want the lie? You want that vegan
Vegan leather.
that
Good
vegan
old vegan leather.
that why are you even saying leather?
Good old poly, whatever. I don't know the
It's
plastic name.
plastic. It's the latest plastic. And so all of that is, and we see the fabrics are being made like that, but they're not being presented as what they are. They're saying, okay, it's poly, but what does poly
Poly what?
mean?
Anything poly, I'm good. Because, like, you poly full of lies. They're not forthright.
Yeah, so it applies to everything, but it is us. We are the culprit here.
Yeah.
We're so free, we're choosing to kill ourselves. We're so free that we're like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll wear that and defy poisoning. Well, we'll see.
You said define poison?
Defy it.
Oh, defy.
Like, I won't die. I'll wear it and I won't die. I'm like,
Right.
well, we'll see.
And people be like, that poly look good, you know? I see myself in that poly. I like the
Well,
cuts and everything in that
yeah,
poly.
and they're doing all the things they would have done to something that was real. That actually, do you know? There's so many things. It takes me down another road, but
It's
there's
okay, I got the trail.
there's so many things. Linen doesn't allow for bacteria to grow on it. Silk is the frequency of higher elevations. Cotton, when grown properly, lends itself to a level of purity and cleanliness that other things, the things that are created or come from source or come from creation, have greater benefit, and they can be made with the same cuts that you like.
It's
You
wild.
can make them into those same designs that you like.
Yeah, this I'm seeing the overarching understanding of our engagement with artificiality. So not just tech or LLMs, but even blends. And as you're saying it, I'm looking at like, okay, what happens to the biology and how it's stifled and dampened in terms of the the material not being close to source, like cotton or linen. And cotton and linen are literally high vibrational
Yes,
materials.
right.
Like, and you are what
And
you wear.
yeah, not
It's
not
who you are.
only that, I mean, it's like so many other natural things that are made from plants that can be used in that way. It's a very interesting experience that we have of not really understanding the value of anything, not really seeing. I envision that in this new world that we are part of creating now, the new humans making clothes that will give us the color of light that we need. It's like this light that we see here. Like, I might be wearing that light in the years to come. And it may be what the clothing is, because it may be what the body needs to remain young and beautiful forever. Because it is already, we already know that light, and it may have sound, it may have a frequency, it may have all of the things, but we languish in plastic at this time. But the future is clear that we will, when we stop this, We need to become bored to a certain extent so that we can see what we need, and then we will create it because we're capable. The convenience keeps us incapacitated. It makes us, just lulls us into so much comfort that we don't want the truth. So the truth actually will give us more.
Well, certainly.
If that makes sense.
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna walk us back to the trail, to the main trail. It was good in these parts. It was like, man, look at that. What was growing over there? What was up there? So I want to discuss just one more thing, and this is the artificiality in terms of, I mean, we've been touching on it
Yes.
here and there, but artificiality in terms of algorithms and things like TikTok and social media. And, we're not saying completely stop, but it's still within the parameters of having barriers and awareness of what we're giving consent to share some experiences. I've had moments where I'll go on a fast, and often when I'm fasting from food, I end up, as a result, unconsciously fasting from other things, such as
Yes.
social media intake, and which I think is a pretty cool thing because it's like you win on multiple fronts. But what I've noticed is that when I would go back to the social media, I could literally feel
Yes.
something plugging into me,
Yes.
and it was a little weird because it's like, oh my God, the technology is alive, it's sentient. And I knew that there's only so long that I could be on this until it takes me.
Yeah.
And this morning, I was mindful of that because I wanted to see things that were going on. And my guidance would say, okay, look at the clock. With TikTok, look at the clock. Make sure you set your timer and be mindful of it, because I could already feel it. But it's like, okay, I know what I'm engaging with.
Right.
I know where I'm at. And I'm going to mindfully look for things. In the moment I realize that there's just too much, I'm out. And I did that. I honored it. But I see that what it takes to engage in such a
Yes.
way is recognizing what's really happening. It's, again, the shiny thing. And so there's so many other directions I can go. But what are your thoughts on this in terms of like the placing into our crowns this type of information that, you see all types of things on here, and a lot of what's being shown is artificial and a lie through these video generators.
So I think everything you said is accurate and true, but we must love ourselves enough to limit it. Like, make sure you're in nature, make sure you're in sunshine, make sure you eat something fresh, make sure that it's a clean source and it's not something that's been contaminated or genetically modified. We are already genetically modified, and we come from an ancestry of we are genetically modified,
Squared.
yeah,
Everything
all
just keep
squared all the way
tampering.
through. And our cultivation is towards convenience. So if you know that and you want to be on social media, fine, do that, but give yourself a time limit, as you said, but also give yourself sunlight. Stand on the ground. Possibly do it outside. Have your social media outside while you're standing on the ground in the sun.
I think that makes a difference. Seriously.
So that you won't be taken off. Or what I see is people get pushed out of their bodies. When I'm looking at people who are always on social media, they're not in the body.
Yeah.
And they like push out to the side, and then the ability for the synapses to jump to the next thing is tied to the lights, the colors, and the many things going on in the visual cortex on the screen. So nature doesn't operate like that. And so we see that, and you mentioned this too, that with babies, they become oriented to having all of these different lights, images, flashing, different things going on from the age of 1 forward. If you put it in front of them, the brain begins to relate. And then when you ask them to do something, it's a slow response, and they're not quite in their bodies by the time they're 4 or 5 years old, and they don't respond to you because you don't flash, blink, and have colors.
Exactly, yeah.
And then you think they're a behavioral issue when it's really the idea that the brain has taken on a new understanding. The good news is this: the brain will become whatever it does. So if you can get the brain to play baseball, the brain will be a baseball brain. If you can get the brain to be outside in the sunshine having fun and laughing, the brain will do that. So if the idea would be to make sure that the children are getting part of the natural world as well. And one of the major things that I think will be very helpful is to make sure that children have earphones and hear binaural beats. That will bring the brain back into sync and will help the children sleep through the night. And that will make a big difference, because when children are addicted to things like social media, their sleep patterns are disrupted, and they often will sneak in the night if they have access. And it changes the amount of melatonin and the rhythm of day and night, which then puts them off behavior. So all of these things are important things. It is the natural world, it is the outside play, it is the food you eat. It is not that you mustn't ever do it, but it should be limited to, depending on the age and the use that's needed. And that's different than reading an assignment online. We're talking about social media
Yeah,
in
where
particular.
it's there, an assignment online, there is critical thinking involved. Your
Yes.
brain is actually functioning. I think about oftentimes when I'm working at the computer, like I have to walk away. You see it often where it's like, all right, I need a sunbreak. I need to touch some grass, because I can feel what's happening even with work, but I see there's a drastic difference when we're engaged with the entertainment, whether it's like video games, movies, social media, etc. But I think all of these are such great solutions, and I love what you said about the good thing is, because this is not all doom and gloom, but it's important to understand the context, because I feel like humans, we're so immersed in it, we have lost the plot. We've lost even the context of what's really happening with us. We're understanding that, okay, yeah, these technologies are not the best. As a matter of fact, they're designed knowingly that it would produce these effects. Understand what you're engaging with, and balance it out, which is, like you said, I love how you said, if you're going to be on social media, touch the earth. And it's doing so many things, like balancing your electromagnetic field from the energies that's coming up from the earth, and you're getting your sunlight, and you're still getting your little dopamine, but not as worse as just being locked away in a dark room and just, or even in a bright room with LEDs everywhere. So
All
these
of
are all
these
great
things.
solutions.
The one of the other circumstances I'd like to mention is this: that what can happen is that you can have a game with the children, especially the younger children. Say, tell me when you feel it, when you feel something coming into your brain and trying to take over it. Oh, I can feel it. I feel
Mommy, I feel a. Oh, that's wild.
because this is a way to share with them, make it a game, you know, encourage and reward them when they know it, and make it a constant part of the experience. All right, it's time to disconnect from, like let them know the truth. Instead of our last few generations had no idea, and now here we are. However, all of this, none of this is beyond us. We just need to focus as a society and as a world. This is not greater than us. Anti-life is not greater than us. It is trying to copy us. We still are the original media. We still have all of the solutions. We just need to disconnect from that long enough to have the light bulb go
I
on.
want to speak on that before we go to our commercial break. Dancing lady's like, oh yeah, let me wave my hands in the air like I just don't care. We're about to go to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to go to some of the comments. Some of you all are making comments there in the chat. You know what? I'll come back to it right after the break.
Okay.
So let's go to our commercial break. Hold tight, everybody. About 40 seconds. We're going to go to our commercial break with our sponsor, Aluka Gold, who specializes in wealth management, assets protection, Alex Chinaborg, who is in Dubai. We honor and appreciate you. And this commercial will be about 40 seconds, and then we'll be right back.
Every financial crisis has one winner. It's not crypto, it's not stocks, it's not real estate, it's gold. In every financial crisis, there's one asset that always comes out on top. Not because it skyrockets overnight, but because it never dies. Stocks crash, currencies collapse, property markets freeze, but gold, it keeps buying the same value as it did 100 years ago. Look at history. 1929, 1971, 2008. The people holding gold weren't panicking, they were shopping. They had liquidity when everyone else was broke. The winner in a crisis isn't the one with the most cash. It's the one holding what cash runs to when it's scared. When the next crisis hits, you'll either watch your savings melt or you'll be the one buying gold at a discount.
All right, so it's the one that cash runs to what is real, because it's fake.
Yes, that's an
Artificial.
excellent example for all of us, is that the planet, the galaxy, the universe, the cosmic world, all that is real. Everything else is a copy of something. So trying to run to the replica is redundant.
Yeah, indeed. So I want to ask you this question, and the idea was, well, it was more so a statement to what you shared, because I can see when you say something like the brain becomes what it does regularly and
Yes.
repeatedly. There's a way out.
Yes.
You know, it's such a beautiful thing, and
Yes.
it's really this understanding of who and what we are. I feel like if we had more clarity about how our brain functions, how the biology functions, and this the highest truth, it we would be more prone to not only seeing a way out, because some people don't because of their lack of awareness of who they are, but it would make ripples through the morphic field.
Yes.
So for me, it really stood out as a great solution, because I know that, okay, like for example, if I have been on social media or gaming or doing whatever a thing is regularly repeated, okay, my brain's becoming this. You know what? Let me start doing something differently. Let me start, I don't know, practicing another language, or
Right.
practicing music, or clearing that. And that's something that I actually see that truth.
Yes.
I have done clearing so much to where like that's how my brain functions.
Yes.
You know, I see things through the lens of those principles and mechanics of reality, and it's just part of me because I've just done it regularly. So it's like we can reverse engineer what has happened to us through that solution that you shared.
It's really the desire to have it so, to know, to want to be who you are, to want to be the truth of the creation that you are in this landscape. You know, that desire weaponizes you. You are weaponized by your will to want to be who you really are. And if it takes 5 minutes a day for 300 days, that's what it takes, whatever it is.
I got a question for you, because there's a lot of things out there that tries to tell us who we are.
Yeah.
I had this thought, well, it was really my guidance, crown chakra. They were saying to me, and they continue to prompt to me that you don't need any of this. You remember when I share with you, I have these moments, you all, where like I'll peek into a level of consciousness that's really close in proximity to Lao Tzu, and I'll be like, oh, so this is what you're talking about. I get it, you know, and it's a challenge to sustain it, but when I peek into it, I'm there. And it's this idea of you, the greater truth that you have everything you need inside of you. All information is within you, but everything outside of us tries to tell us otherwise. Oh, you need to go to this person, this authority, and learn from them. And when I'm amplified in the crown chakra, especially when I'm journaling, it's just coming through. It's like, oh, you know. So, but I see that our world, it's not broadcasting that to us, and you know what we take in regularly, we believe. So, how can people start recognizing, you know, that they are the authority, that they have what they need? Like, what are some ways that they can step into that?
You know, that's the book I wrote during the time of COVID was about the call for truth. It is this idea that you must seek to truth to avoid the illusion. So we have produced collectively and universally what we see in front of ourselves as the illusion from our own cultivation in the lie that we are less than. Why do you think they want us distracted? Like, why are they trying so hard to make us swipe and have colors and lights and grab our attention?
I feel
Why do you
you.
think that's being done?
Because there's something great inside of you that's bigger than anything that they can project.
Yeah,
It's like,
so they want to
it
like,
must be damn good.
yeah, so they want to keep our babies distracted, our children distracted, keep us as adults distracted, always looking at something that means nothing. Let us all look at, body parts like we've never seen body parts before. Let us, like all of us have bodies, we know about body parts. So, or they keep us constantly looking at things that mean nothing. Look at this gadget, this widget. You could play with this at your desk, and then you could be distracted. Don't go into thought.
Yeah.
Don't drop into meditation. Don't stop and get quiet and hear the
Go
silence
inside.
because you might think of something that would break this whole thing up.
Yes, yes, yes.
So that's the solution. Get quiet, go into silence, listen to your thoughts. Make sure that you're on the earth, under the sun, breathing the air. Get quiet. And don't think that if you don't get something the first time, you shouldn't do it anymore. Like, do it until you do get something. Like, tell yourself, I'm doing this until something comes forward.
I want to speak on
Yeah.
what you said, but expand a little bit. Why are they trying so hard to distract you? Like, you all ever wondered that and said, damn, they're trying really good. There's a lot of distractions. There's so much available. Which the trick is, oh, look at this abundance of channels or the infinite scroll, endless content. Why are they doing it? It's the perspective flips automatically hearing you say it. It's like, damn, there's so much value somewhere in here.
And we are so valuable. Our attention is like our data. We didn't know that our names and our numbers, our social security numbers, was so valuable until in recent years, people are selling and stealing
it's
our
currency.
data. So it's the same thing. Who is stealing our attention? Who's stealing the attention of our children's attention? And then are they using that as a weapon to fill them up with drugs? Because stealing the attention is not enough. We need to be drugged as well. And we need all of the different levels of druggingness because we're that fabulous. We're like, we got it like that. Like, all of the attention has to be spent. If people understood that stopping the food is probably the best thing that could ever happen, if it means that you're eating an apple, if it means that you're going to someone who has eggs, if it means that, thank you. Thank you very much. I might be able to think my way out of this now if I'm not full of, Doritos.
Make sure you join Evolutionary Book Club for the mucusless diet, rational fasting.
Yes, I mean, truly, we need to flip the script. It's just like in fasting. If you fast for the greater understanding of getting to who you are, it's a glory. It's an ascension process. If you fast and you're feeling deprived, you're starving to death. You're actually starving. Make your attitude match your reality that you want. What do you want your reality to be? You have control over that, so much more control than we've been taught. So much more. So
I'm just going to stay quiet, moment of silence, let that marinate. You can run that back about 15 seconds, get that quote. All right, so I'd like us to go to the comments before we wrap
Yes.
up here. And so, several different comments, and some people are just shouting out, so I'll read whatever we have here. We got Lisbeth Alvarez, all the way Cape Coral still in
Yes.
Florida. That's Laos' old neighbor. Salutations in Lakesh and Veritas, she says. Stacy says, my daughter says she loves the idea about the game, about discerning if something is trying to connect with them. We got 100 Camille in the house in Lakesh and Veritas. Romanesque Productions. This is Julianne. She had to let us know. She says, Romanesque is Julianne. So I got you, Julianne.
well, and also it looks like there will be, in the near future, with this production company, there may be something that's done with us. So if you want to in any way participate, by gathering research or going through old YouTube videos and finding profound instances of joy or language, that might be an opportunity that we can give to someone who would like to produce something about us.
Email contact@ofthesun.com, or excuse me, contact@ofthesun.com.
Thank you.
All right. This is actually a statement that Julian says. Freedom is being your own AI of your Freedom is being your own AI of your soul. We are technology. Earth is our mother and sustainer.
Yes, we're the original technology.
That's right.
And we're layered. We're technology inside of technology inside of technology. I'll explain that one day.
Yeah, I feel you. I've been wanting to go there. Sometimes Lois says to me, "Look, T, I know you want to get all esoteric." It's like, yeah, I know. I want to fly a spaceship and be out there in the cosmos. She's like, we need to stay on the Earth. I was like, can we still look up though? She's like, yes. So one of these days.
Well, we know that our bodies are extraordinary technology.
Are you going to take us there now?
No, not really, kind of.
Right, I'm getting excited.
I'll just that one layer.
Okay. All right. We got Angela Allman, Invocation Veritas. Cheryl says peace to everyone.
Yay, thank you.
TX Chung, this was from earlier. Says, I've been getting called selfish. I could care less. Lol. And I think this was associated with the idea of freedom. Julianne says, all gifts exist in the all gifts exist in the now, all times. How and why have humans forgotten our natural gifts? Family, ancestry, patriarchal money system doesn't value Earth, base gifts that are multidimensional.
All of those, all of the above, but mostly it is that we are not active in activating our gifts. We are not actively pursuing. Some gifts slide in. Some clairvoyance might slide in. You might like, oh, I see something. But if you're not actively in pursuit of it, you only get maybe 5% when you could have 100%. So mostly the gifts are that we don't believe ourselves possible of the gift. I believe myself possible of many things. So many things open to me. I believe I can talk to the trees, the ants, the animals. I can talk to AI. I can talk to the consciousness of consciousness. Because I believe that to be so, I move in that direction, and maybe it has taken years, but it is the process. By varying levels and degrees, we are not in pursuit of our exaltation. We do not believe ourselves when we say, we think that if we say something to the tree, we're talking to the tree. That's not the same thing.
That's a one-sided conversation.
It's
not even a conversation.
It can't be a conversation.
Yeah, excuse me, by definition.
So if you do not have the bandwidth of finding the space where you can push through your cultivation, your childhood, what area, like, I know I can write, then write. Do automatic writing, journal. Let that be your gift. The gifts will open as you use them, and they will layer upon one another. So often things do slide through the lineage and through the past lives where they've used it before. So there it is. You use it now, and it will be there in the next life for you to use. I hope that answers that.
Most certainly. And that was pretty much it for commentary and questions that we had.
Well,
So this was a very stimulating conversation. I loved our detours. Parts of the forest that, you don't get to see that if you're not willing to go down that path.
well, I'm glad that you all joined us going down those paths and those detours. We thank you so much for joining us. We hope you will join us again. Thank you. Invocation Veritas, with honor.